You know, for over 40 years, two little spacecraft, not much bigger than a small car, have been speeding away from Earth. They're on this incredible one-way journey into the great unknown. And they were our first messengers to actually cross the boundary of our solar system. What they found out there has completely flipped our understanding of our place in the galaxy. So let's get into it, this amazing discovery of a firewall at the very edge of our cosmic neighborhood.
So the big question is, what did the Voyager probes actually find when they finally left the sun's influence behind? I mean, scientists had their theories. They pretty much expected a quiet, gentle fade out into the vast emptiness between the stars. But oh, that is not what happened. Not at all.
Instead of a quiet goodbye, they slammed into a wall of intense heat. The probes recorded this sudden, absolutely shocking temperature spike all the way up to 50,000 Kelvin. To put that in perspective, that's about 90,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It was so extreme, so out of left field, that the researchers back on Earth initially thought, okay, the sensors must be broken. But they weren't. Something out there was just unbelievably, mind-bogglingly hot.
And this bizarre discovery quickly earned a pretty dramatic name, the Firewall of the solar system. Yeah, it totally sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But it's a very real thing that we're only just now starting to get our heads around.
Now let's be clear, we're not talking about a literal wall of fire. The plasma, the superhot gas out there, is incredibly thin. We're talking less than 1 particle per cubic centimeter. So the probes flew right through it without even singeing. The key here is that it's a boundary zone. It's the place where the constant stream of particles from our sun, what we call the solar wind, finally runs out of steam and crashes into all the gas and dust floating around in the galaxy. And that cosmic collision, well, it creates a massive shockwave that superheats everything in its path.
So, to really understand how we found this, we've got to talk about the heroes of this story, the twin Voyager probes. Honestly, their journey is one of the greatest tales of exploration in all of human history.
Launched way back in 1977, their main gig was a grand tour of the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and they absolutely nailed it throughout the 80s, sending back iconic photos we all know. But here's the amazing part. After their main mission was over, they just kept going. In 2012, Voyager 1 made history, officially crossing into interstellar space. Its twin, Voyager 2, followed suit in 2018. They became the very first things made by humans to ever leave home.
And that's really what makes this story so incredible. They had no return ticket. There was no coming back. This was humanity's first real step into the galactic ocean, sailing into a region that, until then, we'd only ever seen in our theories and our dreams.
So as you can imagine, the data they started sending back from this completely uncharted territory was revolutionary. It started solving some old cosmic mysteries, while at the same time creating some fascinating new ones. It basically forced scientists to tear up their old models of the solar system's edge and start over. Just look at how wrong our predictions were. We thought the sun's influence would just quietly fade away. Nope. Voyager found a chaotic, energetic, and totally dynamic border. We thought the magnetic fields from our sun and the galaxy would clash violently. Instead, they just kind of lined up, almost perfectly parallel. And we expected near empty space, but we found a superheated wall of plasma. Every single piece of data just reinforced that this boundary wasn't some simple line in the sand, it was a complex, living frontier.
So, how exactly does this firewall form? Let's break it down. Okay, so first, our sun is always breathing out this stream of particles, the solar wind. Billions and billions of miles away, that wind starts to slow down, and it slams into the interstellar medium, all the stuff between the stars. Think of it like a cosmic traffic jam. This collision creates a massive shockwave, just like the bow wave in front of a ship, and that shockwave compresses and heats up the plasma, creating the firewall. But this firewall isn't just some weird, distant feature. It's actually a small part of a much bigger structure that is absolutely critical for life here on Earth. It's part of our solar system's shield. And that shield has a name, the heliosphere. It's this gigantic magnetic bubble that's constantly being inflated by the solar wind. Our entire solar system, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, all of it, we all live inside this protective bubble.
And it's not a static thing either. Scientists have these incredible analogies for it. They say it's like a cosmic immune system, filtering out dangerous stuff from the rest of the galaxy. It's like the bow wave of a ship, pushing interstellar gas aside as we travel through the Milky Way. My favorite is that it's like a living, breathing membrane, expanding and contracting based on how active the sun is.
So what's its number one job? Well,
It's our cosmic bodyguard. It deflects the vast majority of super harmful high-energy cosmic rays that are zipping through space, many of them shot out from violent events like exploding stars. Seriously, without the heliosphere, life on Earth would be bombarded with so much more radiation.
And understanding our own shield has massive implications for the search for life out there. Now, when astronomers look at distant planets orbiting other stars, they can ask a new question. Does that star create its own protective bubble, a heliosphere of its own? Finding one of these Athenospheres, as they're sometimes called, could be a huge signpost pointing us toward a world where life might actually have a chance to survive.
So as our two little probes drift ever deeper into that vast interstellar ocean, their own story is slowly drawing to a close. But their legacy, that's really just beginning.
You see, their nuclear power sources are fading. After more than half a century of constant communication, sometime around the year 2030, the last whisper of data will reach us here on Earth, and then they'll fall silent. Forever.
But their mission isn't truly over. Attached to the side of each Voyager is a golden record. It's a time capsule. It's filled with the sounds and images of Earth. Greetings in 55 languages, music from Bach to Chuck Berry, the sounds of whales, and a baby crying. It really is a message in a bottle, cast out into the cosmic ocean.
So even after their signals stop, they'll just keep going, drifting silently through the Milky Way for millions, maybe billions of years. They are these immortal, silent witnesses to our existence, carrying the very first voice of humanity out into that great star-filled dark.
You know, Voyager taught us that the edge of our solar system isn't really an end. It's just the beginning of a much bigger, way more complicated story. It revealed the first frontier. And it just makes you wonder, right? What other boundaries, what other cosmic firewalls are still out there just waiting for us to find them?